Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Thursday, September 29th, 2022. I'm glad I'm here. It's taken multiple tries to get Zoom to cooperate. It's glitchy today. So we'll see if this one works, and I'll just keep trying till I can get a video up. I am nothing if not stubborn and tenacious, besides being a little bit of a survivor. Okay, well, in the news today, all over the news is lots of chatter about, and I'm talking mainstream, about the Nordstream 2 pipeline. It has a couple of significant leaks that are man-made. I mean, that's the truest statement that I can come up with about it. Now, there's lots of finger pointing about the blame. But before we get into that in a little more detail and the angle I'll use for my tarot read today, I wanted to share something with you. Back in February, before I even knew what a tripod was, I did one of my first videos, which has, as I record this video, has 97 total views forever, the Nordstream 2 pipeline. And you may want to go back and look at that, even though it's old. The description for it was, this 764-mile pipeline runs under the Baltic from Russia to Germany. Its approval for use has been halted at present. Will our military be used in regards to it? Will Russia use it as economic blackmail if approved? So I'm not claiming that I was psychic and that I knew that we needed to have that topic addressed back in February, but I do have a good friend who has some foresight abilities, and she wanted me to do that, and I'm so glad I listened to her. Okay, now, as I mentioned, there's lots of finger pointing about who has done the deed for the Nord Stream pipeline. It's rather suspicious that U.S. military aircraft circled the pipe incident site in September and had various sorties happening in the area. That is a little suspicious. Of course, I like to follow the money. And as you listen to my first video, one of the things you'll notice is that Ukraine was really the big opposition to that Nord Stream 2 pipeline, because it bypassed the overland pipelines that they had that were a big part of their gross national product. So I don't know that I want to follow the military aircraft as much as I want to follow the money. Now, last but not least, I have one more thing to share, and it is a tweet put out by Mr. T. One second. Okay. The quote says, U.S. leadership should remain cool, calm, and dry on the sabotage of the Nord Stream pipelines. This is a big event that should not entail a big solution, at least not yet. The Russia-Ukraine catastrophe should never have happened and would definitely not have happened if I were publicly in office. Do not make matters worse with the pipeline blowup. Be smart, be strategic. I'm sorry I messed up on the reading that. Get a negotiated deal done now. Both sides need and want it. The entire world is at stake. I will head up group, question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay, well, you got to read it, even though I paraphrased it to some extent. And part of that was intentional because of YouTube AI censors. Hopefully I did well enough. Let's ask the cards about that. Mr. T has an offer, and he is the art of the deal man, right? He has an offer now publicly on the table to get involved and negotiate this incident out of the mainstream and back into, let's patch those leaks and get that natural gas running. Boom, right? And if anybody can negotiate, that's the man that can do it. So let's ask the cards. Is Mr. T going to have an opportunity to negotiate a deal and settle this tense international situation? Is there other information the universe would want us to know? Okay, let's see what the cards have to say. Well, he's offered, universe, is he going to have a chance to negotiate the world out of this tense situation? Let's see. And is there other information the universe wants us to know? Now, if you're watching me deal or shuffle, you'll notice a couple cards popped out. I didn't feel like they were wanting to be heard, so I simply put them back in. I'm going to chalk that up to a faux pas on my part. When one jumps out, it's very, very obvious, and that's always good to heed. Our first card is the Six of Pentacles. Then the Four of Swords. Seven of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. King of Cups. Then we have the Five of Pentacles, lots of Pentacles today. Judgment card. Okay, now I've had someone say there's going to be a glitch here. It's me pausing the recording so that I can let the cards kind of speak to me. But I never pause during the shuffling or the dealing. These cards will remain in their same location when I come back. And that's as candid as I can be about not having human interference with what we're being told here. Okay? Those of you that know a little bit about tarot know that. And if you're too suspicious that this pause I'll take right now bothers you, then you may want to not be listening to tarot. So Mr. T's offer was one of generosity. And it's clarified a little bit by the Four of Swords, which talks about taking a little bit of a break. And he has been, at least in the public eye, taking a break from his duties. And always with this card, it means there are things going on in the background that we are not privy to. Okay, but his offer was definitely genuine and heartfelt, that he would be happy to help in negotiations, either in the public eye or off of it. We have the Seven of Pentacles showing up for the recent past. Okay, this is a card that shows some reward for faithful effort. And so he's willing to put in, he has been willing to put in that effort. He has been putting in that effort. He will continue to, because he believes in the outcome. Even though it's not fully expressed yet, he's a big believer in it. Now we have the King of Pentacles showing up for the present. And he's a faithful provider and about sovereignty and success. So if Mr. T is allowed to negotiate in this matter, and it's in the present, we've got success card here happening. In the near future, though, we have the King of Cups, and he is frequently my Mr. B, number 46 card. So if the folk who are managing the person seen as 46 have their way, there's not going to be that success. They're going to have their shenanigans going in full force. However, clarification card here is for the Five of Pentacles. It won't go well for them if they do. And they're going to be facing some backlash and judgment if they interfere with this offer, even if it only happens outside the public eye. Let's get a little more clarification from the cards. Okay, we got Mr. Tricky. He's trying to do some sneaky things, okay? And definitely, I told you, when the MSM is focusing on something, they are usually trying to distract you from something. So I'm going to ask Anons watching this to chime in and give some thought about what might be on their mind besides the Nord Stream 2 situation. What might they not want us to know? Like big name banks filing for bankruptcy? Who knows? Okay, we have another tower moment coming up. Okay, now that tower moment kept coming up again and again until we publicly lost Queen Elizabeth. It's showing up again as another tower moment is coming as a result of this situation. Another tower moment, another big pivotal event in the change to our world. Page of Wands, a little bit of reassurance here. He's one of my unofficial white hat cards, okay? And the universe has that deal with me. That might not be the page's traditional meaning, but for me, he's one of my white hat cards, not my main one, but one of my white hat cards. And he is one of cautious optimism. So don't let the doom and gloomers make you think this situation is dire. I personally believe the alt media chatter that while there will be wars and rumors of wars, they won't necessarily ever be allowed to be nuclear. And I think we have some big time and off-world intervention that's willing to make sure that that doesn't happen. And then we do have one of my much stronger white hat cards showing up here with the Knight of Swords. So the Alliance is watching. The white hats are on top of this, despite the trickiness that Mr. B and his team would still like to do, and the mayhem that they would like to have happen. It's going to rebound on them in a major, major way. And yeah. So Mr. T, I'm glad you made that offer. I am. And I think you're going to have a hand in keeping this from getting to a dire situation. Just my thought and what my intuition is here on this. So that's it for this video. Mr. T made a genuine offer, and it would behoove the powers that were, I won't say the powers that be, to take him up on it if this situation really has some ominous undertones, not just what the mainstream hysteria wants us to believe. Personally, I am not worried about it becoming anything near a nuclear situation, but I know that they have to play that card out. That's part of the process here as we clean up our world and wake people up and get going with reality the way it should be. And let's have that happen sooner, not later. In the meantime, don't live in fear. And don't be fearful about situations you can't have a direct impact on. What you can have a direct impact on is your family, your friends, your neighborhood. You can be kind and generous and tell people that fear is a useless emotion. As I often say, caution is good to have, okay, but not fear. And let's picture the situation having the best possible outcome, resolve, and for things to speed up. And they are speeding up, but more, because I want to get to the finish line and have a chance to spend some quality time in the world the way it's supposed to be, the way it was planned to be, before we and our path and our DNA was interfered with so horribly. That's it for this video. Thank you so much. Your time is precious, and I do appreciate that you chose to spend some of it with me. And my little dollar store find up here, I think it's a good phrase for us to remember too. We did not wake up to be mediocre. Okay, we woke up to help others and to enjoy that new world. I know that's not what probably the creator meant when they designed that, but that's how I just couldn't pass it up, because I thought, no, I didn't wake it up to be mediocre. I woke up to be more fully informed, to be a part of the world, to be a small voice of positivity. Thank you. Until next time, good night.